Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello, hello. I know I'm a little off today. You would think that this is my first time ever being live, but hi, how are you guys doing? How are y'all doing? Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year. I'm so glad to be back here. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. I feel like there's some things happening in my background that I'm not completely thrilled with. What's happening over here? Okay. I guess we're okay. How is everyone? I hope you guys' New Year's Eve was really good. I hope it was really, really good. I spent New Year's Eve very much, let's just say, quiet. Okay, very quiet. I'm going to turn this camera off for just 10 seconds. Hang on 1 second so I can move this camera because I don't like where it's at. Hold on, gang. I don't like what it's showing. So hopefully this will be better. Hopefully I didn't move it too far over. Yeah, it's enough. All right. We're good. Oh, I know what it is. I have cords here. Listen, I've been rearranging some things and doing some things. And, I know you guys aren't used to me being kind of out of it, but I'm a little out of it today. Like, I'm just trying to get my life in order, getting my setup set back up again, how I used to have it. Really making sure that everything is ready to go for you all. But what I'm here to do today is say Happy New Year, first of all. And we're going to get back to some things that we haven't done in a while. And one of those things that we haven't done in a while is we haven't done one of our lovely crystal grids. So I'm going to, should I pop this into the, I tell you, StreamYard does a lot of great things. And one of those great things is how they've rearranged everything. It's kind of cool. But we're going to talk about, I'm just uploading this. We're going to go over our 2026 New Beginnings Crystal Grid. And that's very important to me because this, as far as I am concerned, this year, 2026, is significant. We talked about that before Christmas, before I went on break. I went to Wisconsin for a couple of weeks and for a week, I should say. Got to see the grandbabies and all that kind of great stuff and spent some time with my son, my daughter in love, and my youngest daughter and her new boo. And they haven't defined it. And so that was fabulous. And I really enjoyed it. But I tell you what, I've enjoyed probably even more so than that. I've enjoyed the moments where I fully recognized that 2026 is different. It is a different energy. It is a new energy. It is a completion of one cycle and the beginning of another. And I am of a firm belief that if we, as a group, as an entity, as a collective, don't take this opportunity to step into the fullness thereof, it's a problem, right? We're going to be missing out on something absolutely amazing. And today specifically is a 111 portal. It is a 111 portal. So 111, right? January 1st, 2026, which is a 1 year. It's a 10 year, but it's also 1 year. This really is kind of like that trinity of newness, of new beginnings, of starting fresh, of stepping into me, of stepping into you. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay. That I can promise you, that is what we're going to be talking about today. So this isn't about pitching anything. This is just about presence. Today is so much less about resolutions. And matter of fact, I don't really believe in resolutions. I believe in orientation. I believe in results. I believe in shifting your intentions and then implementation. And today is about choosing how we're going to enter this year and not forcing anything, forcing ourselves to perform or forcing ourselves to be something that we are not, and that in all honesty that other people have wanted us to be. And that for me means everything. It means the world. So I'm very happy to be here today. Hey Katrina, how are you, dear? Happy New Year. um, TB, hello. Listen, most people didn't know I was live. I'm getting back into the swing of things, and I've rearranged my schedule so that I can actually be here with you guys. Happy New Year to you as well. And I'm going over to X just to make sure that we're live on X. I believe that we are. Oh, I hate that when this does this. Are we not live on X? Hang on, gang. Hold on, everyone. Why are we not live on X? What's happening? Oh, we are. Okay. In X, I need you guys, if you're over here, I need you to say hello, and leave me some information. Okay. Leave me a chat, leave me a hi, how you doing? How's everything going? That sort of thing. So let's get back to the gets, shall we? So let's talk all about today and the new year and what it represents. So as we talked about a couple weeks ago or a week or so ago, 2026 is a 1 year. Okay. In numerology, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 reduces, it equals 10, which in and of itself is a number of completion, but then it also reduces to 1. And the 1 year is all about new beginnings. It's about new identities. It's about leadership. It's about self definition, and it's about planting seeds that define the next cycle. And the last time we were all together, we really discussed like, where were you back in 2016? And I wanted you to bring that forward. Now, a couple of things. If you did not do that from the last time we were together, this this QR code, okay, is going to give you access to the 2026 mantra wallpaper. And let me see if I can. I'm going to hide this for one quick second, guys, and then I'm going to copy and paste um, the, here we go, comments. So I want you to get your 2026 mantra wallpaper here. Okay, so this is what we talked about the last time we were all together. And I want to be sure that that popped up over here on X. Nope, it didn't. So let me open up YouTube. Sorry, gang. Sorry, not sorry. I want to be sure that you get this, and I want to be sure that you have it, because it's really important to me to be sure that we are coming at this from all angles. Okay, I want us to come at this from literally all angles. Okay, I want us to see our determine our mantras and see them right on a regular basis, which is going to be by um, also, hang on one second, let me do this. Also putting these mantras on our phone. So if you're wondering what that's going to look like, um, when you go and click that link, that's what this is going to look like. Let me show it to you. Now, that was a few weeks ago that we did this. So I want to show this to you, though, so you can see what it's going to be. So when you click that link that I just put there, and then we'll pop up the QR code for that one more time. Okay, there, that's QR code. You're going to get this. The template was created by me and was shared with you. So I want you to start designing. I'm going to edit the template, and it's just going to open up Canva. If you don't already have a free like Canva account, then you're going to need to grab one, but it's free to sign up. And I made sure to utilize the Canva all free stuff, right? I didn't want you to feel like, you needed to pay for anything, right? So it's going to open this up. And the last video that we had was talking about the 2026 mantras. And then you can edit these mantras yourself, share, download it. There's directions, like you're just going to share it, download it. So share it, download, and then you're going to download it as a PNG. and then you'll be able to use it on your phone as a wallpaper. Okay. Because I want you to see these every time you open up your phone. Okay. I want you to do this top mantra is for me, I am intentional and prosperous in all that I do. Okay. And so everything that I have here is for that purpose. Now, that being said, that was a little bit ago. What we're doing today is we are going to be doing our crystal grids. And this, I'm going to leave this up here then and comments and then download your 2026 crystal grid here. And this is going to give you a form, guys. This is going to give you a form that is going to, with this form, what you're going to be able to do is, hang on one second, is you're going to be able to then download the grid. And I want you guys to be sure that you can download that grid. So let me know that you can, both on X and over here on YouTube. I'm going to pin this comment to the top. Perfect. Okay. And so what this is going to do then, when you download, when you either scan this QR code, if you're watching me on TV, you can just put your phone up there and scan that QR code. What that's going to do, gang, is it's going to, okay, continue. It's going to show you this first. So I apologize because otherwise it's going. This is what it's going to look like, just so you can see my screen. You're going to see a form right here that you're just going to fill out your first name, your email address, and your phone number. If you've ever gotten anything from me before, your email address should fill in everything else. And hopefully you guys don't mind giving me your phone number. And then when you click send, what's going to happen is you're going to get an email to your email, and you want to check your spam, and then it's going to have an attachment to it. And that attachment is going to look something like this. It's going to be this crystal grid. And then there's 4 more pages explaining the grid, and we're going to go over it. But this right here, you can print out yourself, and it's color coded for which crystals you're going to need. And I used crystals that if you've ever done anything with me before, you're probably going to have them. Or if you use crystals at all, you're probably going to have them as well. It's a clear quartz in the middle, an amethyst, rose quartz, citrine, sodalite or lapis lazuli, moonstone or labradorite, and pyrite. So they're all crystals that most of us already have. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in just a few minutes. All right. So that's the basic genesis of what we're doing today, just so we're all perfectly clear. All right. So again, 2026 is a year that is a 1 year. Okay. A 1 year doesn't ask you to do more. It asks you to decide who you are becoming, AKA who you are. Who you are becoming or who you are. Why is it very important? Honestly, I feel like to decide really who you are. Because we don't really step into this new identity until we decide we're actually that identity. So for me, this year is really all about being the CEO and not necessarily the doer, right? I want to be the CEO, or I am the CEO of my businesses, and the CEO of my life. But by being the CEO of my businesses as an entrepreneur, I'm choosing to not do more in the business, but I'm choosing to be. I'm choosing to delegate. I'm choosing to expand the team. I'm choosing to make moves that a multiple seven-figure business owner makes. I also decided for 2026, this is the year that, you know what? I'm open to a relationship. For the first time in a very long time, I'm actually open to a new relationship. I'm open to a partnership. I'm open to finding and discovering love and appreciation in someone else, and for them for me. That's what I want, right? And I'm finally open to that. it has taken me a while to heal to the point where I am open to that. So that's another thing that this 1 year is bringing for me. This 1 year is bringing also that I choose when I go and what I do. I don't travel out of necessity or out of obligation. I travel out of intention and desire. Everything that I'm doing is very intentional this year. And there is an identity that I have wanted for so many years. And I think a lot of you have wanted for a lot of years of your own life. And for whatever reason, it hasn't happened. But I want to tell you that the last 10 years have been building up to this. And now it's time to be it. So when I decided in December, probably into November, this is who I am. How does that person operate? And I should probably go back to and so I can put the link to what I did before, the video I did before. Bear with me 1 second. I know you guys are like, girl, you should have had all these links together. And I probably should have, but oh well, it is what it is. The last live that I did was back on December 21st. So it's been a minute. And I'm going to get that shareable link. And here's the video from September. Control V. Oh, point the other way. It wasn't this. It wasn't over here. It's what it shows on my computer. That's the last video that we did over here. Here's the link on X for the YouTube video. And that video we talked about, that video was all about, oops, I don't want to do that. That video was all about 2026 beginning now, how to manifest the best decade ever. Okay. So this is a continuation of that. And so the point of doing that then was so that you would decide this is who you wanted to be. And this is what you wanted to do. And this is what we're going to manifest. Got it? So this year is not asking you to do more. You don't have to work harder at being who you are. You have to decide who you are and then step into that. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have been watching Stranger Things. Listen, I just discovered it literally. I know, right? I was at home, or I was in Wisconsin, and Ellis and Megan are really into, like, they've watched everything, and so I was watching season 5, episodes 5 through 7 with them on Christmas Day. And you're like, why would you do that? You haven't seen that, episode first, and I hadn't, but guess what? I really enjoyed it, and then I started binging it, so I'm already on season 3, like episode 2 now. Anyway, long story less long. What I'm finding out about this is it's interesting because I'm watching these children, and especially 11, but all of them, and watching it over the course of time, they didn't not, like, 11 discovered who she is, and she grew into an evolved sense of self and really who she turned out to be, right? I haven't seen the last one, so don't spoil it. Anyway, but these other children step into a role, and they took everything that they already knew. Like, they're like referring everything back to like their Dungeons and Dragons training, right? And for those of us who grew up and were in high school or maybe younger, in the 80s, right? Middle school, high school, we remember Dungeons and Dragons, right? It was a big, 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 big thing. And there were clubs, and it was like after school clubs, and people used to, but they referred to their Dungeons and Dragons because that's what they knew. They were already equipped to deal with the upside down. They were already equipped to deal with the abyss. They were already equipped to deal with these creatures in this shadow world, not because they had been somehow metaphysically trained for it, but they took the training that they already had and the knowledge that they already had, the training, the wisdom, everything that was already accessible to them from their own world. And then they stepped into the role. Does that make sense? They stepped into the role. So what I'm trying to tell you is you already have everything you need. You've already been trained for this new identity. Now it's time for you to do what? Step into the role and to stop making excuses. Because excuses, dear ones, are just that. They're excuses. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have that. I need this. Da 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 da. They're excuses that are really feeding the fear and preventing you from stepping into it. And I understand that there are what we perceive as realities because it is a reality in the moment, but that's the reality of your old identity. When you choose to be your new identity, then that individual operates differently. And I need you to allow him or her or they to operate differently and step into that. That new person, right? And we're going to probably go over a little bit of other things about how to change yourself almost immediately. That new person operates differently. That new person operates not in a state of lack, not in a state of indecision, not in a state of wonderment, not in a state of confusion and disappointment. They operate in a state of power, of love, and of a sound mind, right? Power, love, and a sound mind. When the Bible says these things, that you know me, I don't want to be preachy. But when the Bible says these things about that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of love and of a sound mind, right? That means that fear creates confusion, and that means fear creates an unsound mind. Okay? All right. Now, why a 1 year feels uncomfortable? Because a 1 year can be quiet before it gets super exciting. There's not as much validation, external validation in a 1 year. The 1 year, the energy of one is expecting you to be a singularly focused and intentional being. And by singularly focused, I mean singularly focused within oneself. I mean that you are so like in tune with who you are, how you are, that you are so certain of your own divinity, that you're certain of your own capabilities, that you are certain of your power. And so this 1 year is asking you to step fully into it. It's about being in alignment. And finally, let me tell you something, to finally be in a position now where I'm like, you know what? I don't care what anybody else thinks about what I should do and how I should do it. I'm stepping, I know what I love to do. And part of that is like technology and creating systems and doing all these things. Part of that is creating this content. Part of that is doing some coaching. Part of that is, doing some, maybe I might do some more life coaching this year. We'll do some more energy readings, and we'll do some more intuitive readings and all these. I don't know, but you know what I do know? That I love technology and I love creating systems and things. I do know that. I do know that I'm tired of feeling like I need to be what everybody else expects me to be. I do know that. So I don't be what I want to be and what I'm destined to be and what I'm aligned with in this moment. That's what we're asking you to do. So if you don't consciously choose your identity, you unconsciously will repeat old ones, old patterns. And this year is a year where half stepping it feels heavier than clear decisions. Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that, Katrina. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, can we talk about the crystal grid? Did you guys scan that wherever it is? Okay, did you guys scan that QR code, or did you click the link? Because we're going to talk about the crystal grid, how we created it, and why. So, I put everything in 3-ring binders. So when you print this grid off, this is what the grid's going to look like. This grid is a seed of life. Okay, if you guys don't recognize it, it's a seed of life. And what this 2026 grid is going to help us do something very special. It's going to help us step fully into the new identity. Okay, your new identity does not announce itself with some grand, here I am, I'm your new identity. It doesn't do that. It is very quiet at first because it's internal first, and then it shows up in the external. It shows up in your boundaries that you set, in choices that you make, and when you stop and what you stop tolerating. So for me this year, I have stopped tolerating other people, whether that's family or not, putting requirements on me and draining energy from me. That's a lot. I'm not tolerating, I'm no longer tolerating anyone, anyone draining my energy. I'm no longer allowing other people's crises to be my emergencies or their emergencies to be my crises. I'm no longer tolerating people who can't just honor who I am for what I am and how I am. If you're seeking to change me to fit your mold and your vision of me, I don't tolerate that anymore. Put something in the chat that you feel really strongly that you don't wish to tolerate anymore this year. Put something in the chat wherever you're watching, or if you're watching this on a replay later, I want you to put in the chat, what is it in 2026 that you know deep down inside, if you just close your eyes and say, I'm not tolerating this any longer? Put that in the chat. Okay? Because that's critical in how that new identity operates. 2026 is going to reward consistency of identity and not intensity of effort. 2026 will reward consistency of identity and not intensity of effort. Because if you keep just on that same hamster wheel doing the same thing over and over and over again, that is what? Insanity, right? But I'm going to go a step further. If you keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that, you're never going to get any further. You're going to keep spinning your wheels. Okay? So I want you to put in the chat in 2026, what will you stop tolerating? If you don't know that for sure, put down in 2026, my boundary is, or my boundaries are. I want to know that. Again, if you're watching, if the replay gang is on, put that in the comments. Right? TV says, you said it for me, family burdens and crisis and disrespectful people. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It is too draining. It is way too draining. I had my mother, love her. She texted me, I don't know, maybe it was Sunday night, Sunday or Monday, I'm not sure. And she needed me to send my brother some money. And she doesn't do Venmo or nothing like that, right? She's in her mid to late 70s, mid 70s at this point. And so she doesn't, and if for whatever reason she was like, she didn't know how to Zelle, which she's always known how to Zelle before. So I don't know. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, okay. So I going back and forth with my brother, and I'm just like, well, I don't usually Venmo, and the financial institution I'm with right now doesn't have Zelle, and anyway, so I was just trying to figure out another way. And he was what I felt kind of rude in his response back to me. Now I don't know what this little bit of money was about. I didn't know till I asked her, and it was, I guess, for a Christmas gift for my niece. There was a shirt she wanted, and it just came in stock. And for whatever reason, instead of just ordering it online and having him go pick it up at the local store, she wanted to send him the money and asked him to just go pick it up. That made no sense to me. Like, why not just order it online and then have him pick it up, have him be the pickup person? Anyway, he was kind of rude. And so I said to her, I was like, all right, it's been sent, da 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 da. I'm like, but here it is. Here's your son being rude. Like that. I'm so tired of the entitlement. Because to me, especially once I found out that she had Zelle, to me, wouldn't you just make it the easiest way possible? Or it's like $30. Why don't you just go buy it and then just be like, Mom, don't worry about it. Thanks for letting me know. Just go get it. And I'm like, he's so entitled because he was rude to me. I'm the one. What? And then she was like, well, just everybody needs to take a pause and it's okay. And maybe I'll just get a money order. I'm like, I just told you I just sent this anyway. And at that point, then, because I wasn't going to make her pay me back, but at that point, then I'm like, you know what? No, because you're going to allow him to be rude to me. I'm just supposed to accept it and take it. Everybody's just supposed to be fine with his entitled brattiness, like it's always been. He's 10 years younger than me. No, now you're going to send me the money. I'm like, what do you have? You have Zelle? Here, send it to my daughter. My point is instead of me just kind of taking it and ruminating over it and just being like, meh, I stopped it, ceased it. You know what? I'm fine, but you're going to do this and I'm not talking. You're going to do this. And then I texted him back and I'm like, you probably didn't mean to be rude and sound very entitled, but I just need to let you know that how you phrased this was rude and it was entitled. And instead of making your mother go all the way around the mulberry bush and trying to figure out how to get this to you, you should have just taken 10 hot seconds and gone into your Zelle app and sent her either a request in Zelle or given her your phone number or which email address you use for Zelle. It would have taken you 2 seconds to open up your bank app to find that information. But instead, you put your mother through all this stuff. I'm not going through this with you people anymore. So I'm just letting you know that was very entitled, and I don't really want to hear anything else about it. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Yes, Katrina, you're going to be stop being used and not being appreciated. That's kind of the theme, right? That's my theme too. My point is this: your choices, your boundaries, everybody else's financial crises is not my emergency. Their emergencies are not my crises. Your needs, wants, and desires are not mine. I love you. But I'm not going to sit here and continue to support and support and support and support financially, emotionally, whatever, energetically, and there's no reciprocation. And I really don't care who you are because I'm out of balance. And when I'm out of alignment, everything in my world is out of alignment. And I refuse to do that still. Okay. So set your boundaries. It's going to, this new identity shows up in that, what you're not going to tolerate anymore. Okay. So this year is kind of quietly asking you, who are you when no one is watching and when nothing is confirmed yet? Faith is the evidence of things yet unseen. That doesn't mean they don't exist. Faith is the evidence of things yet unseen. But just because you can't see it does not mean it does not exist. Your identity already exists. You're just choosing to see it and be it. Okay, now let's review the grid, shall we? Let me bring this up. So here's the grid. We're going to review the grid. And I think we're going to share the screen. And we're going to do this. There we go. Okay. So this is what the grid's going to look like. The grid is the seed of life. Okay. That's what the sacred geometry. So the black circles represent the seed of life. And the reason we chose the seed of life, because it represents the moment before expansion becomes complexity. Because if you look at the flower of life, it is multiples of these seeds of life, all convergent together in one big circle. Okay. So this is made up of one center circle and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other circles. Okay. One center and 6 surrounding to make up the number 7. It is the geometry of potential, of emergence, of coherent intentional creation. So that's what we're doing today. So when you work through this grid, the pattern at the beginning of this 1 year, it's going to allow your intentions to form organically without forced pressure or overstructuring. So I designed this grid to do a few things. I designed this grid so that what you would also be able to do, beloveds, is this is going to cover every area of life. This is going to cover your intuition. This is going to cover your money. This is going to cover your love. This is going to cover growth and confidence, cycles, emotional, like every area. Okay. We're going to set this up, but you can leave it up for, a little bit. You don't have to leave it up for the whole entire year. So don't feel like you have to do that. But I think leaving it up for the next, 3 days at least will work. Let me see when the next, let me go to AstroSeek and see when the next new or full moon. Let me go to astroseek.com and let's look at the moon calendar really quick. And I want to see when is the next. Okay, so we have a full moon on Saturday the 3rd. Definitely have this set up by that point so that we can release all of this great energy into the atmosphere. Okay, and it's a full moon. And, oh, I love it. It's a full moon in Cancer. Great time to give birth. Cancer. Great time to nurture yourself and be very intentional about all that we do. And so we'll get together again on Saturday in the morning, right? We'll do a meditation and all that kind of great stuff too. Okay. But that's going to be what we're going to do with this full moon. And we're going to have this grid, guys, we're going to have this grid ready to go. And we'll revisit the grid and meditate over the grid. So set it up now. Okay. And then we'll have it then and we'll leave it up as long as we can. Okay. For a couple weeks. All right. So, the foundation of the grid is the clear quartz, okay, which is in the center. So what I want you to know is this is the first stone that we place is the clear quartz in the center, okay? That is anchoring the energetic core of the year. The clear quartz amplifies clarity, adaptability, and alignment, ensuring that growth remains responsive rather than rigid. Okay, this is a give and take. We are evolving all year. You're responding to new information that you get that's going to further your growth. That's what this is. And you're responding from your new identity, not the old one. All right. It's allowing your intentions to evolve as insight deepens rather than locking you into fixed expectations. Now, the next one that we're going to place is this up here, north, this one right here. We're going to place this amethyst at the top of the grid, and that's going to support intuition and discernment. It's going to guide you to wise decision making, clear mental processing, and trust in inner guidance. All of this is on this document that you're going to get when you download. Get the QR code, or there's a pinned comment in Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. There's a pinned comment on this live in the comments here. And then also down in the description below, there's a link as well. Okay. So you're going to download this and you can print the grid off. It's just one page. Okay. Or if you already have like a crystal grid cloth, like a Seed of Life cloth, some of us have them, you could just use what you have. You don't have to print this one off. But the first one you're going to place is the clear quartz in the center. And then you're going to place the amethyst at the top. Okay. For your intuition and discernment. And then in the upper right here, you're going to place the citrine. That's to activate confidence, optimism, and forward momentum. It's going to support healthy expansion, and it's going to reinforce the capacity to move towards goals with assurance and not hesitation. Do you guys have goals that you have already set? We're not setting New Year's resolutions. We're setting goals. So I want you to drop the goals. Give me one goal, or even if you've got 2 or 3 goals, which I hope you do, put them in the chat. Okay? Put your 3 goals in the chat or put them in the comments below. Then in the lower right, oh, this should be switched. If you guys have downloaded this, I can't believe I didn't know my right from left. I'm going to switch this. So you're going to re-download it. I'll do that in a minute. Or I'll send it to you. Just know this is the labradorite, okay? The moonstone or the labradorite, placed in the lower right, honors cycles and transitions. This stone supports trust and timing, emotional intelligence during change, and the ability to move with your natural rhythms. So, in other words, you're not pushing. Okay, we're not pushing. We're just doing. We're not pushing. We're doing. Okay, let me switch this because that's going to bother me until I do. Undo. And ungroup. I'm literally updating it as we speak. Actually, all I need to do is make this color and make this color. Bear with me. I am just changing it because otherwise it's going to bug the bejeebers out of me and we will not have a good rest of this live. It's going to take me 10 hot seconds and then I can download it again and I'll update it to being a different name. So if you just give me just 2 seconds, I'm literally updating. Hang on, hold on, we're almost done. So that labradorite and that moonstone, right, is all about, remember I said that before, that this energy is not about pushing. This energy is about allowing. This energy is about being in alignment and not feeling like everything that I'm like the effort is what's going to get you there. I'm not saying, we all know faith without works is dead, right? We all know that. But what I am saying is sometimes what happens is we end up working so much, right? We end up working so much and so hard. Rev, okay, save. That we end up overdoing it to a point where we are we're putting so much of our own energy into things that it's honestly making it where our higher self doesn't believe that it can actually be manifested. And that's when if you've ever been like, oh, I'm trying so hard and I've done so much and I've worked so hard, right? If you've ever been like that and you're just like, I don't understand why in the world um it doesn't come to fruition, or why don't I really ever get the um why don't I ever get the results? I've been working so hard. I've been working so hard. I've been working so hard. Okay, guys, it's a brand new. So if you downloaded it before, go back to the form. Or if I find that I can see I'll send it to you guys. Anybody that downloaded the original here, just know I've changed it. So in fact, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna update. I'm gonna open the revised one. Okay. All right. We're good. So I will look and make sure that you guys have it if if we need it. Anyway, this is not about push, 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 push. And you can work so hard but you're spinning your wheels because it's really too much of your energy. And it's like you're doubting that source, God, the universe that this actually is going to happen. You don't believe it. So you work so hard to make it happen, or you feel like you've got to make, like, based on prior knowledge, you make decisions and do things because it always worked before. But this is a new thing, a new identity, a new year, a new cycle, a new everything. What worked before is not necessarily going to work now. Or even if it's steps you've taken before, when you put a different energy behind those steps, you get a different result. Okay. So, Katrina, become more financially stable and love myself more and be more self-aware. I love that. For TB, it's going to be increased finances, buy a home. Yay. And clear debt. I love that as well. You guys, that's great. That's awesome. Those are awesome, awesome, awesome. Right? Those are awesome goals. And I know that you will achieve every last one of them. I think the other thing I'm going to do, hang on, is let me go. I'm actually doing, I hadn't planned on sharing this with you guys, but I'm doing an Eventbrite this weekend. I'm doing an Eventbrite this weekend. And here's the link. And if you guys know that I also do, that I'm a business coach and strategist and stuff, and I'm creating some new things this year. Eventbrite. Workshop. Here we go. Workshop on Jan 4 at 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay. That link right there to my event, okay, on January 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Let me go over here to, bear with me 1 second, gang. At 6 p.m. Eastern. If you go there, that's free. Okay, if you go there, that's free. And here we go. And it's all about, oh, where are we? Okay. It's all about creating the life, right? How to build a profitable business in 12 weeks. And this year I'm doing something a little different. I am getting ready to launch an app. Here's what this looks like when you guys go there to register. I'm getting ready to launch an app as well. So there's going to be different opportunities to create this business. And now I'm creating different businesses, right? I'm creating businesses like if it's just online courses or if it's just different things that will allow you to tap into your wisdom and things that you can do on the side. So register for that. That's totally free. It's January 4th. It'll be from 6 to 7:30 Eastern. All right. Register for that. All right. Now let's get back to the grid, shall we? And that's on Eventbrite. Okay. So there you go. Okay. So we left off with the labradorite. So we're going to place the labradorite in the lower right. It's going to honor your cycles and your transitions. It's going to support you to trust your in timing and emotional intelligence during change and the ability to move with your natural rhythms. You don't want to push, you want to move, you want to flow. This is about being in flow state and not in pushing state. Then in the south, we're going to place the rose quartz. Place at the bottom of the grid so that we can be emotionally grounded and trust yourself and your instincts. It's going to support compassion, specifically self-compassion, but for others, balanced relationships and steady emotional foundations as your new identity takes shape. It's important to have compassion for yourself, but it's also important to have compassion for others and see how they are and see them in their pain. So my brother being entitled and rude, yeah, was I irritated? Absolutely. Completely irritated. However, I also see him in the pain, the unhealedness, the whatever of, he's kind of a jerk. And sometimes he can be a real jerk, a lot of times. And he's very self absorbed. But I also know that's how he was raised to be able to be self absorbed. So while he's what, 10 years younger than me, so he's 47. By now, he should have been able to figure out how not to be self absorbed. But you know what? It is what it is. And that's not my circus, not my monkeys. I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't. Like, I can't let that affect me. So I see him in the compassion side of, well, I hope he gets himself together. And then I was able to walk away from him. I said, this is what you did. This is how you did it. I'm not accepting this behavior from you anymore. So when you talk to me like you have some sense and don't try to talk down to me and condescending because I'm not dealing with it. Okay? Great talk. Break. And then for my mom, I'm like, you know what? If you choose to get talked to, spoken to like that, and you're going to continue to make excuses for him, child, okay, whatever. Be that. Love you. Break. But I see that's how right things have been for her. So I have compassion. And then I had the most compassion for myself because I'm like, I don't have to deal with this. I don't. And I've chosen not to for a reason. Okay. And then over here is going to be your pyrite in the lower left to establish stability and protection. What I want you to notice is this lower half right here, it establishes on the left hand side, we're establishing stability, protection. This is also a money stone, an abundance stone. So we're rooting and grounding money, monetary flow, all of these things, stability and protection. This also roots in their energetic boundaries, practical prosperity, not something pie in the sky, but practical. How can you implement these things? How can you make these things operate? How can you bring them to fruition? Practical prosperity and the translation of intention into tangible results. So we're taking the dreams and the aspirations and the goals and making them tangible. We're also having compassion for ourselves. So we're making sure that the root or the heart chakra is activated so that we can put the energy into motion, right? Have that emotional stability. And then we're having on the right hand side, we're honoring the traditions and cycles and knowing that the emotional intelligence rooted within us coupled with the practicality and the stability, and then tripled three chords with the compassion, balanced relationships, and emotional love for ourselves first, is all going to be rooted together and then support the growth that is up here at the top. Okay? Because this is citrine is the energy of confidence. This amethyst is the energy of intuition. And then over here we have lapis lazuli or sodalite, which in the upper left supports a clear expression, your throat chakra, clear expression and integrity, authentic communication with yourself, with the universe, with others that is tied into the intuition and rooted in confidence and spoken confidently. This is going to give you authority of voice, right? And the ability to be seen and taken seriously without having to over explain yourself. And all of this in this middle, right, is this clear quartz that allows all that energy to kind of mix together and then come out authentically from the center or core of your being. Does that make sense on what we're doing here? And so we're placing this seed right at our core and we're energetically in bringing this in. And if you hang out with me on the 3rd on Saturday, we're going to meditate over this, right? I'm going to create a meditation. We're all going to meditate over this. We'll reactivate it. Okay. We'll meditate, reactivate it. We'll integrate this and then release it into the world. What a beautiful thing. I love it. Okay. It's very intentional to support your inner alignment, right? And outward expression. We want to be aligned and not fragmented. Okay? Aligned, not fragmented. We want to be in flow and not in lack and work and feeling like we're in flow, not in tow. We're not towing everybody behind us, right? We're not strapping everybody to our back. We're in flow state. Now, hopefully this all resonated. Hopefully you like it. I love it. It's for free. So QR code or link in the chat or link in the description box. All right. And I want you to, if you can put this together today, great. If you need to get a couple of crystals, have it ready by Saturday. Have it ready by Saturday so that we can all get together Saturday morning. All right. So listen, you're not late. You're not behind. Your 1 year begins the moment you decide to be present. So if that's today, great. If that's next week, great. If that's next month, great. Whenever you feel aligned. but I'm going to encourage you to do it as soon as possible and get into this zone. If you don't really want to do the crystal grid thing, I just want you to get the concept of the ways we're approaching 2026. All right. I want you to let 2026 be the year you stop circling around, running in circles, and you start standing on who you are and being who you're meant to be. All right, guys. So now I want to remind you, if you go to this, and we'll put this link in the description as well. If you go to this link, you'll be able to register for the event. Okay, if you go to this link, you can register for the event. It is Wednesday at 6 p.m. from 6 to 7:30 p.m. If you go do this QR code or go to the other link we have for the crystal grid, you can download the crystal grid here. I need to go make my meal. So I don't know if you guys have made your meal for today. But and let me tell you what I'm making today. Shall we let me go up here and find I made a whole menu. So just bear with me while I go find my menu. Chat and I have been talking about this quite a bit, and I really moved through it quite nicely. So, for sure, what I want you to do is one meat or one protein. Okay, so I'm doing chicken today. I'm actually doing boneless, skinless chicken breasts with garlic, an onion. I was supposed to get the mushrooms. I might run out and get some mushrooms. And mushrooms, we're gonna saute that. It's gonna be kind of nice. Um, I'm instead of greens, collard greens, I'm doing fresh spinach this year. I've had a lot of greens and I love collards, but I didn't really have to do something that I had to cook for a really, really long time. I'm doing some cinnamon, ginger, honey, apples. I was looking for pears. Pears is a very interesting, like abundance and stability fruit as well. Also, we're using bay leaves and some thyme and rosemary as well. Um, and so, what we're gonna do with the chicken, and you could use fish if you wanted or whatnot, but choose one protein. And the reason we're choosing one protein is we want to be very singular of intention. Okay, we want to be singular of intention in intention. Um, we don't want to be kind of scattered and doing all these other different things and all that jazz, right? We just don't want to do that. So we're going to be singular in intention. And that is, hold on, I'm going to tell you, I've been working on this for so long. Hold on. This was like, I really put a lot of thought into this. Like, why? And there were different options like for beans and stuff like that. Because, usually we do like, I don't particularly like black eyed peas. I'm not a big black eyed peas person. So the single protein represents leadership without chaos. Chicken, lamb, or fish. Something clean. You want something that is going to the greens are manifesting potential and stabilizing power. If you choose to use a starch as well, like a rice or a potato, that is it, or cornbread. If you want to make some cornbread, like I might actually make some cornbread. That actually sounds really good. Expansion without grounding becomes burnout. So you want to ground, right? So that's what the starch does. Nothing fried, and then so you could make rice with bay leaves and olive oil if you wanted to, or you could do, like I said, a potato if you wanted to. And then I'm also making the pears. Well, I was going to make pears. I'm using apples instead, because that brings in the sweetness and the love and that kind of joy kind of thing. Okay, so feel free to do any of that. Like, and you know what? Go to chat and ask. See, what can I make really quick? Okay. So that's what we're doing. All right. I'm going to go make that food. And I'm kind of debating what else I'm going to do today. Um, if I have the energy, I'll come back and we'll do some readings tonight for the 111 portal before it well, it's not really closed. This 111 portal, because we've got the full moon. Let me look at the other phases. This 111 portal, I'm going to say, is going to be open all the way up through January 10th, because that's the next 111 day. And then we move into the 1111 portal on January 11th, right? So the 111 portal will be open all the way up and through January 10th of 2026, because that's another 111. And then we move right into the next day, 1111, January 11th, 2026. And then that portal, that portal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that portal will be open until the 18th of January, which is the new moon in Capricorn. So right now we're flipped, right? We have the full moon, we're releasing. New moon really is going to really, in Capricorn, is really going to solidify a lot. That's really going to, that new moon in Capricorn is really going to solidify finances, power structures, organizational structures within ourselves and all of, and surrounding, right? So that's really what that one is going to be. It's very much organizational structures. So this full moon in Cancer is going to allow us to step into this identity of self in a very nurturing self-care kind of way while we're moving through this 111 Trinity alignment portal. And then on the 11th, we come into the 1111, which is life path, right? Portal. That energy then builds up to the 191, which reduces down to 1 again, because it's 1 plus 9 is 10 plus, no, which reduces to 11. 1 plus 9 is 10 plus 1 is 11, which reduces down to 2, which is a master. So that is really the mastery of the life path. I just gave you a whole lot. Don't worry, we're going to guide you all the way through it, the whole way. Just know that this first half, especially all the way up through like probably about most of January period, but definitely all the way through, I would say, oh gosh, into the next full moon, which is going to be in Leo. So all of January is really going to be about identity, setting up the structure for the new identity, and stepping into that structure. Does that make sense, guys? This is exciting. This is exciting. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go for now. I'm going to go eat, right? It's 5 o'clock here, so I need to start cooking. Should have been done. And if I have any more energy later on, we'll come forward and we'll do some. You guys going to work tomorrow? Did you guys take tomorrow off? We're going to try to do some readings a little bit later on tonight if we can. Also, what I should probably do is let you know I have reopened. Oh, there's links in the description. I have reopened my calendar for readings, life coaching, and maybe that's how I need to put it, is our intuitive life coaching sessions. So I've reopened that as well. Okay, and that could be a tarot reading, an astrology reading, whatnot. So I've reopened that as well. So there's a lot of ways to interact with me this year. I want you to take advantage of that as well, and download the freebies that I have. And then also, guys, sign up. If you're looking to do something different, I'm launching some things that are you can do a more intensive one for a little bit more, or I'm actually launching an app with a very reasonable monthly subscription to help you build your business. Figure out what you want to do and build it. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you. I'm a Capricorn rising. That's what I'm all about. Okay? So let's do that together, shall we? You're off till Monday. Well, isn't that fabulous? So maybe I might pop up a little bit later on tonight because I didn't do any readings last night. I vegged out. All right, gang. I'm gonna get going. Um, and I'm so thankful for you guys to be here. Okay. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys so much. Namaste. Bye.